Okay, so hi fellas, this is a weird one. I have started using QuadViews again, and I've started using hand-tracked mouse controller as a mouse controller because I bought a so to say finger mouse with 4 buttons, which simulates the mouse in a VR cockpit, and I can use my real mouse with my right hand without interfering. Also, just to show you which settings I run, these are my DCS settings and they are all on the maximum pretty much, as you can see. So this is the desktop resolution, it doesn't really matter. I've set everything to high. I do use DLSS though because it's just better anti-aliasing. I would like to use TAA, which helps with ghosting, but the in-game text is a bit unsharp with that. DLAA and thus DLSS is a bit better than that. I've set it to quality because performance-wise I don't really need it with QuadViews enabled. I still have visible range set to ultra. I probably could go to extreme, but it doesn't. I don't think it matters that much actually. I'll try it out maybe. So what I did change was lens effects. As I disabled them. It is noted by Embutcher's QuadViews to set this to disabled anyways because it can interfere with QuadViews. And the reason seems with lens effects enabled, you can still see the QuadViews Foveated rendered square wherever your eyes look. And this, with this disabled and with SSRO disabled, you can no longer see the square. Unfortunately, I do like SSAO a lot because it doesn't make the in-game world look as flat, so I keep it enabled. What else? Yeah, motion blur off for virtual reality. Also depth of field. What's next? Yeah, preload radio. Everything else is pretty much set to maximum. I've set max FPS to 60 because I'm running the Pimax crystal at 120 Hz. But I've set it to half refresh frame rate, meaning 60 frames per second, because the 60 FPS can be attained stably, but otherwise it fluctuates between, I don't know, 60 to 120, which isn't as smooth an experience in my opinion. Okay, that's for that. Special, I have disabled Ultraleap here. I've also disabled hand controllers because I'm using Fred's HTCC. This is a program which doesn't use hand controls per se, but translates the hand controls to mouse input. Because the problem with these two settings, you cannot disable touch input. So whenever you are moving your hand in game, like using your physical devices, and you accidentally touch any controls, you will activate or deactivate that. And with HTCC and a finger button mouse, I can then click or point to the controls I want and click as with my actual mouse. The only downside to that is the in-game mouse in VR correlates to head movement. So if I'm set the mouse to the center and I move my head, everything seems perfect. With the HTC controls though, if I just use my head, the mouse also moves. This is a big downside because you have to keep your head perfectly still. So hand controllers would be best, but they are unusable as long as we can't disable touch. That's the gist of it. Also, I have of course enable QuadViews, but I've disabled track the eye's position because I'm using the, what is it? The Novendor XR Neck Saver, which helps tremendously when looking back. Also QuadViews, of course, I'm using the OBS mirror, which allows me to record this video, because if you use the VR mirror from DCS, everything looks pixelated. One couldn't even watch the video, and it is different with this OBS plugin, which captures the video right from VR. Okay, then we have the HTCC, Ultraleap's Handtracking plugin, OpenXR plugin, and of course Ultraleap. Now let's enable FPS. Right. For some reason OpenLeap doesn't show up. Maybe in-game after I've resented, hopefully. That's the problem with running so many plugins and tools and all that, because something is bound to not work. Okay, let's just jump into a mission real quick. I'm in the full fidelity P51D Mustang. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but the QuadViews Square is still barely visible, and that's because of SSAO. So I am running at 50 to 60 FPS, but I'm mostly CPU bound. Let's resume them. Yep, let's see if it's working. I don't see my open buffer. I've probably have to restart OpenLeap again. Okay, let's fly around, check the performance and the visuals. As you can see, nice shadows, nice ambient occlusion. Cockpit illumination is awesome. You don't really see any reflections in this cockpit. I don't need to start. I think the F15 is best for that. Yeah, 48 FPS, but CPU bound. What the fuck is your problem? I guess we can call it quits here anyways. Perfectly sharp. Oh, and you have to make sure to enable sharpening only in one app. So either in QuadViews or in the Pimax client or in DCS. I'm using the DCS sharpening because I don't have to quit the game to change it. And I've currently set my not foveated rendering resolution pixel density to 15% if I'm not mistaken, or even only 10%, and it doesn't show anywhere in the headset. anywhere my eyes look is perfectly sharp. And I'm only running a 4090. This is with the Pimax crystal pixel density 1.0, which is like, don't quote me on that, I think it's like 14 million pixels to render, and the 4K TV is like 8 million pixels, so 8 to 40. That's why virtual reality on Pimax headsets is so fucking demanding, because the LCD resolution from the OG Pimax crystal isn't actually that high. It's like 4K times 2.5K, but because of the barrel distortion, because of the spherical glass lenses, you have to render way more pixels than which the LCD can actually display. So that adds to the problem. Pimax Crystal Super, for instance, has a way higher base resolution on the LCDs, 4K by 4K, and with the barrel distortion, that's I haven't even yet found out how many pixels they are because I don't have the Super, but it's probably unplayable, at least with 4090 at everything maxed out. So, because the Super also has the spherical lenses, except with the micro OLED panels. Micro OLED panels don't have the glass lenses, but they use the usual Pancake lenses, which are plastic, and there the LCD resolution is the same as the render resolution. So it's 4K by 4K, which is still, of course, high, but it's not that insane amount like with glass lenses and barrel distortion. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say for now. Oh yeah, and this is the first try in recording QuadViews with OBS. So please make sure to comment on this video if you like me doing more voice recordings to explain stuff in DCS and Pimax and virtual reality settings, and B, if you have any problems with the video quality not being 100% sharp, because this is a recording from the actual inside virtual reality view. You also only see the video portion sharp where my eyes are looking. If that makes any sense. Okay, so now I really am finally. Thanks for watching and see you guys next time.